Do you find it difficult to get reviews on your Google Business Profile? If you do, you're not alone. I totally get that it's hard, but it's something you must not neglect because it's so vital to your business and your success. I'm sure you already know that reviews are important. You've almost certainly searched for local services on Google Maps yourself. You've looked at the businesses that show up, and you've judged a lot of their credibility based on their Google reviews. But it's not only about credibility. Reviews also help you to get more exposure in searches and for more keywords if you use them correctly. So let me share 6 tactics that will help you to boost your Google reviews fast. Before I get into the 6 tactics, the key to getting more reviews quickly is by making it as easy as possible for someone to leave you a review. If you just send someone an email asking them to write a review, very few people will actually do it. You're relying on them to take action, to go to Google, search for your profile and locate it, click on your review tab and then write their review. This is a key reason why you might be getting a low request to review conversion rate. You know what I mean. You seem to send a lot of review requests, but no one actually leaves you a review. So let's solve all of this. Number 1, and this might seem quite basic, so I'm not going to spend very long on it, but so many people still don't do it. Make sure you send your review link with your requests. In your Google Business Profile dashboard, there's an icon labeled Ask for Reviews. When you click it, you can copy a link and add it to your review requests. This means when you send a request, someone just has to click a link and it'll take them straight to your profile and it'll open your review page where they can select the number of stars they want to give you and they can write their comment. Simple and very effective. So please send your review link. It'll definitely make it easier for people to leave a review and it'll definitely help you to get more reviews. That's it for number 1. Let's now move on to the more advanced stuff. So number 2. Give people ideas of what to write. Some people find it hard to know what to write in a Google review. So even if they click your link, they might sit there staring at the screen with no idea of what to write. So after a while, they might just close the page and they don't leave you a review. So when you send your review request, if you give the person suggestions for what to write, it'll help in multiple ways. Firstly, it'll mean they'll click your link with a much clearer idea of what to write, so they're more likely to actually leave you a review. Secondly, it means you can influence what they include in their review text, and this is really important. When you look at a Google Business Profile with a decent amount of reviews, you'll see this People Often Mentioned section. These are words that people have included in their reviews and they help you to rank in searches for these keywords. So if you get plenty of valuable keywords that you want to be known for in your reviews, you'll get more exposure in Google searches for those keywords. When you send your review request, include a couple of bullet points that encourages people to include valuable keywords. I recommend that you at least ask them to include the service they bought from you, because these are always the search terms you want to show up for on Google. Also ask them to include their location, because you'll start to get more exposure in the search results in the places where you've previously served your customers. So always give people ideas of what to write when you request a review from them. Right, now on to number 3. You should consider actually writing the review for them. I say consider because this isn't something you should necessarily do every time you ask for a review. It depends on the relationship you have with that specific customer. But if you do it, it can be amazingly effective. Literally write the whole thing for them. Just think, if this customer were to leave me the perfect review, what would it say? Then you've got total control over the text that's included in the review, as well as the keywords that are incorporated. If you do decide to do this, just be open and honest with the person you're asking for a review. Say, I know you're probably busy, but it'd really benefit my business if you leave me a review, so I've written something that you can use. But also say, obviously I want it to be an accurate reflection of your experience with us, so please change it in any way if you wish. Then if they do want to change any of it, they know they have your blessing. If you don't include this part and they want to change what you've written, they might think you won't be happy if it doesn't say exactly what you wrote, so they could ignore your request entirely and they just don't leave you a review. The other thing to be aware of, if you start writing reviews for people, make sure you significantly change the wording every time. Don't just use boilerplate review text and only change things like the service they bought or their location. It'll be so obvious that things aren't quite as they seem if all of your reviews are almost identical. People reading them will be very suspicious and Google will probably detect it and suspend your profile. Google is starting to take reviews a lot more seriously and they're punishing business owners that are abusing the system. On to number 4, and this is a really good one, especially if very few people that you ask to leave a review are actually doing it. Send your review request using WhatsApp. People ignore emails all the time. I'm a little embarrassed to show this, but my personal email has got more than 37,000 unread emails. But my WhatsApp doesn't have a single unread message. So clearly I don't read my emails, but I do read my WhatsApp messages. And this is quite typical behavior in today's world. So if you send your review request using WhatsApp, along with your review link, it's way more likely that your request will be opened and read, so you've got more chance of someone actually leaving you a review. Now for number 5, which is something very few business owners actually do. You should schedule time for asking for reviews. One of the first questions I ask our new clients is, do you regularly ask for new reviews? I almost always get a slightly sheepish answer of yes, so I go on to ask, how regularly do you ask for reviews? Then it usually turns out that it's no more frequently than once a month, and it's almost never to a schedule. Most business owners ask for new reviews when they remember to do it. There's no planning behind it. Getting more reviews becomes a lot easier if you have a regular slot in your diary where you ask your new customers to leave a review. That slot will need to differ in interval and length depending on what your business does. For example, you might transform people's gardens and you spend a couple of weeks on each job, so you only need to schedule time twice a month because you only need to send one review request each time, and you probably only need to plan in 5 minutes every 2 weeks to send your requests. However, you might be a plumber that visits an average of 4 customers a day, so you need to schedule 30 minutes every single week to ask your new customers for reviews. Whatever interval and time you need, just make sure you plan it in your diary, because if you do, you're way more likely to actually sit down and do it. Just make it part of your regular routine. But something that's really important with this is that you ask for a review as soon as you can. Don't schedule time once a quarter if you serve a lot of customers each month. You don't want to end up sending emails that say something like, hello, remember me? I'm the handyman that put up that shelf for you 3 months ago. If you do remember, maybe you could leave me a review. The quicker you can make the review request, the more likely the person will leave you a review, and they'll probably include more detail because everything will be a lot fresher in their memory. Now for number 6. Follow up on your requests. So many business owners only ask for reviews once. They send their request, and if they don't get a review, they just leave it. Follow up, ask people a second time, a third time, and more than that, if you really want to get more reviews. However, this is more effective if you have another reason to email them. Rather than just sending an email and saying, you didn't leave us a review, here's the link again, use it as an excuse to provide a bit of customer care. Start the email or WhatsApp by saying something like, it's been a couple of weeks since I installed your new boiler. I just wanted to check in and make sure everything's okay and see if you had any questions. People will love this type of customer service, and you can guarantee they'll tell their friends and family, and it'll help you to get more referrals. Then you can go on to say, I noticed you haven't left a review for us yet. If you've got a minute, just click this link. Plus remember tactic number 2 and suggest some things for them to write, or use tactic number 3 and write the whole review for them to make it as easy as possible for them to leave their review. I've covered a huge amount of stuff in this video about asking for reviews, so to make it easier for you, I've added some example text you can use in your email and WhatsApp requests in the video description below. So now you know how to get more Google reviews fast. Watch this video next because I give you 10 years of Google Business Profile knowledge in just 10 minutes.